Righto, it's Crossmember K-frame time. As you can see, this is an AU Crossmember, same as a BA/BF, I'm told. This is what I could get, so that's what I've got. What I've done is set it up in there. There's a locating peg on the top of this, and it lines up exactly with the locating peg from the K-frame of the E-series. And we got a bit, die grinder happy, and the hole didn't quite line up, and we die grind it across and moved it over a little bit at the top here, and she's over and she's bolted in. So that's that one. This one here, we drilled the hole. We had to move this crush tube out of the way. Drilled a hole there, got to weld a crush tube in through here, but this bolt's just temporary for the moment. We'll weld that in later. The front cross member, I went parts shopping today and bought a second front cross member, and we've done a bit of cutting and shutting. I also cut off the parts of the cross member where they bolt on the BA. I was getting it off, and what that's given me is crush tubes, as you can see, and studs that are the right length and grade, and some fancy nuts with big washers on them. So they should be pretty good for some parts. The guy also let me take the the power steering cooler off of a Territory, and he gave me that throttle body because I didn't have one. So that was pretty cool of him. Interestingly enough, what I learnt today was that this front cross member between AU and BA is different, and the difference is very, very subtle. The BA one, the peg that locates it, as you can see, this is the locating peg. On the BA one, it's over this way a bit further, and it's only like 4 or 6 mil or something. It's very, very slight, but only noticed because I had them side by side, and you cannot swap between the two. So what we did was we had already drilled the locating hole for the AU one, and so we have to use the AU cross member. No big deal, just a different one, but it all fits the same. Control arms are all the same, it's all the same. There was a big washer thing here, you can kind of see where it was. Ground that off, and there's a crush tube already in here. So what we've done is drilled a pilot hole through so we know where that is going to line up, and we're going to get rid of this one and move it to here. We've got the locating peg as we said before, and we'll drill a new hole for this one. So then we've got our 2 mount points. We'll fill that in. Now what we did to make all that work is that was on there, and no, wait, rewind, that was on there. And the problem with this one was on the B series and the AU, it steps down, it's not flat, whereas I can show you that here. See how it goes along and then steps down? And if we look at the E series, it's completely flat. So we have to modify this to make it fit. So the part where it steps down on this cross member we cut off, and we cut a piece out of the cross member over here that's the right shape, and I'm going to weld that in there and tidy it all up so it looks right. Weld through those spot welds and weld around there, and we'll turn it over and drill this hole through that way and drill it out to the right size, which I think is 10 or 12 mil. The other thing we had to do So yeah, we did that on both ends. The other thing we had to do was these go in the end here, like that, framing, and we took that out. So what we'll do is we'll get two and cut them in the middle, and you can see one's wider than the other. So one end's narrow, one end's wide, so we'll put two wide ends on it and weld it back in, and that should be good too. I think that's all I've got to show you. Yeah, so that's the update on getting the cross members in. We can use the existing cross tube, we'll make a new cross tube, we've got the pinhole to locate it. Same deal over here. Existing cross tube moved over slightly. The new cross tube goes in there, and that's it. The cross members will be done, and the Barra motor will bolt straight in. There it is, the Barra.